So this is the start of the Personnel Committee meeting for the City of Green Bay on August 4th, 2020. Quick roll call, Alder Dorf,
Here.
Alder Johnson,
Here.
Alder Corpus Dax.
Present.
All right, and I'll look for a motion on the agenda.
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Has everyone had a chance to go through the minutes from our last meeting? And if
To
so,
approve.
any questions?
Second.
All right, I've got an approval and a second. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
And that is approved. On to regular order of business. Item 1, consideration with possible action on the request to fill the following replacement positions and all subsequent vacancies resulting from internal transfers. The development director, is that even possible? The housing inspector and the park maintenance worker. Staff.
So you see the request to fill in the agenda, and yes, we are deeply saddened that Director Vonk is moving on, but we wish him the best. So if you have any questions, we do have Cheryl Rainier-Wig and Director Ditchite to answer any questions.
All right, anybody from the committee have questions? Alder Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Director Faulds, could you, just because this is the first chair that has left since my tenure in council's begun, could you just please explain the process for me, any other new alder that hasn't experienced this before?
Yeah, sure. So what we have is this is a position that's appointed by the mayor. So what's going to happen at the next council meeting is he will appoint an interim director for the time being. And what we're going to do within the next week or so is we'll start recruiting for the director's position. And then hopefully within the next couple of months, we'll go through the interview process. HR and the economic development will work together to evaluate the applications. We'll work with the mayor, and then the mayor will go through the candidates and determine who is the final candidate. And then that position will be appointed. It'll go to the common council, and the common council will decide to approve or not approve the appointment.
Do you know, I've talked to a few previous alders, and it seems that maybe it's been a little bit inconsistent in terms of whether or not city council has been a part of that process. And by city council, meaning like some directors, there's maybe been small committees put together where there might be one or two alders that are appointed that committee along with some other key stakeholders. Do you know if that's just kind of at the discretion of the mayor or if he's considering that as a possibility?
I think you'll have to talk to Mayor Genrich about that. I think that'd be a good discussion to have with him because obviously he's a new mayor and could be open to different ideas. I think it's based on the appointed position. So I think this position works with RDA more closely than there's other appointed officials that don't work with other committees. So to have the common council or different members of the public part of the interview process, that's not out of bounds. It just kind of depends on what position it is and how we go about the recruiting process that way.
Sure, and that's when I say that it's been inconsistent. My comment to that, meaning that my understanding at least is that some directors have been hired that way and others have not. And I just wasn't sure, kind of what the rhyme and reason was behind like when it's used, when it's not, and if there was the standard practice there. But it sounds like it's really up to the discretion of the mayor. Would that be correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And it's also, there's some positions that are appointed and some positions that are not. And so I think it's really the more interaction the appointed official has with the committees and common council, probably the more input the common council would have on that. But it's really the discretion of the mayor to decide how that recruitment process goes. And then they work closely with the HR department.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. Appreciate it.
Are there any other questions? Any questions on the housing inspector or the park maintenance worker? All right, and Joe, how long do you anticipate, I know you can't, but how long do you anticipate having the development of director position open?
So we're hoping to send out the posting in the next couple of weeks, and then typically we have it open for at least 4 or 5 weeks to have candidates, and then it'll say open until we fill it. But I think it's going to come down to where does this candidate come from? The person might need some time to give notice and leave from their current position. So I'm hoping at the latest would be the start of January 1st, 2021. Earliest, maybe the next 2-3 months, probably closer to 3 months.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Chair?
Yes, Alder Johnson.
Thank you. Director Faulds, if you could maybe just quickly, again, and I apologize, I didn't ask this before, but when you post this position, obviously this is such a critical to the city of Green Bay. I'm just curious, where does this get posted? Is this the national search? Are there boards that, development directors have a tendency to follow? Or, I mean, what are the recruitment procedures?
Yeah, that's a good question. So for upper level positions, we usually put together more of a pamphlet and kind of more of a, I guess there's more that's put into the posting, but it is a national search that would go on. We will use quite different agencies, and if the assistant director, Sheila Rainier-Wig, if she wants to jump in, she can about some of the agencies that we'll be posting it with.
I think Director Vonk actually shared a number of organizations like the APA, Wisconsin Planning Association, any number of areas where he's a member of downtown development groups that we can send those notices out to. So I think there was probably, I don't know, Mel, half a dozen of those. And then I think as a national search, I think we might have done that for the director before Kevin. Back before it was not a combined department back then. It was strictly planning, economic development was separate as part of the mayor's office. So this is really the first time we're recruiting for that combined position. So you're right, it's a very important position. So, but I think we have some good places to start recruiting from. If anyone has any suggestions on where we could recruit, I mean, I think HR is always open to those as well.
How long do we anticipate leaving that application window open?
Typically with positions, we keep it open for about 4 weeks, but then, sometimes we keep it open until filled, but I think we're anticipating about 4 weeks, and then we'll close it.
Any other questions or concerns?
I would like to move to approve the request to fill the following positions: the development director, the housing inspector, and the park maintenance worker. I think Alder Corvus-Dack seconded it, but very quietly since she's muted.
All right, yes.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes unanimously. On to information. Number one, update on timeline for recommendations to the City of Green Bay Health, Dental, Vision, Life, Disability, and Voluntary Benefit Plans for the 2021 budget. Staff.
I just wanted to make sure that the council and the committee was given an update on this. So every year for the budget, we make a recommendation on the benefits and what those rates will be and what our plans will be. And the budget's kind of a weird, scary word right now because it's right around the corner. But we have been working with M3, our insurance broker, to go out to market for all of our benefit plans to determine if we're going to stay with the current carriers or to move on to anyone else. So the thought process is staff has already gone through the evaluation process from the past couple of months. Now we're going to meet with the mayor in the next couple of weeks, meet with the benefits committee, and then the end of August, I will send a written memo to the Common Council outlining our recommendation. So you have a couple of weeks to look it over, and then at the Personnel Committee in September, we'll present that information at the Personnel Committee. So does anyone have any questions on that timeline?
Does anyone have any other questions reference this matter? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to receive and place on file.
Looking for a second? Second. All right, I have a motion to receive and place on file in a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes unanimously. Report of routine personal actions for regular employees. Does anyone have any questions about the actions about regular employees for staff? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to receive and place on file.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to receive and place on file. A second, aye? Aye.
Aye.
That also passes unanimously. Our next meeting is scheduled for September 8th, 2020. And I would entertain a
Motion
motion.
to adjourn. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Are you good on your end, Melanie?